So what's up? Y'all know what it is. Welcome to Embrace the Process, the Athlete Entrepreneur Podcast. And today I got a young man with me, man, that I'm so impressed with. I had a chance to hang out with this young man at the CEO conference. So shout out to all the boys. Shout out to the 5 CEOs. Hosted a great event in the ATL. So we got to connect. I got to learn a lot about him. And I was super impressed, almost jealous at how young this man is and what he's already accomplished and where he's going. So I'm going to let him introduce himself to you, and that way he can give us a little background and we're going to jump right into it.
So I appreciate that. So I'm the owner of Elevate Now Brands. My name is Demariyea McCowan. I'm out in Las Vegas, 23-year-old real estate agent. I'm basically like the financial GOAT. You see my Instagram, and I do a lot of things where it's like hashtag leverage the banks, because my big goal on being a mentor and a coach as I'm creating courses is teaching people how to get assets, credit building, and doing a lot with making spending plans. Some of my accolades, I turned about, I'll say 1,500 into 65,000 in real estate recently. I do all types of side hustles, creative side hustles, soda flipping with exotic sodas. Anything that could really make a buck, I'm always looking to pursue. So
dope. So I want to start like this. You started young. When would you say you first really ventured into entrepreneurship?
Honestly, I did it young. Like, the stories of people selling candy. That's one of the stories. I was probably like, my mom would probably say different, but I said I was probably like 7, 8 years old.
Yep.
My grandpa just got out of prison, so he was like, look, I'm gonna be around. So I was like, okay. So he's like, let's go in front of, we're gonna sell candy. So he brought me to a Smith's, and we went and got like a 10-pack of candy. Back then you could buy a 10-pack piece of candy for $1. And then I would sit in front of Payday Loans. Now at one point when they, like now looking back at it, that's the best place to be. People just got their money. So that's when I really truly understand overhead, profit, and loss at 7, 8 years old. And people like, oh yeah, here, I'll buy 2 from you because I'm a kid.
Yeah.
But what I did is I made sure I got the owner's permission. So every time he came, he would drop me $5, $10 just because he's like, okay, I'm gonna let you do it right here.
Love it. No, that's super dope. So, side note for all the parents out there, if you got your child that has that entrepreneur spirit, cultivate it. Mm-hmm. Don't try to shut it down. If you see it and you sense it in them, build it. Do like Grandpa did. Take them out there. Teach them how to manage their money. Teach them how to communicate. I mean, it's a lot of benefits to it. So that was just a little side note. So let me get back on track. So the question I have is, I know you're into coaching right now too, really helping people. What would you say is the number one issue with mindset? Why aren't more people understanding financial literacy and all that other stuff? What's the problem?
This is what I truly believe. Like, in our first 7 years, right? So my grandpa did that in my first 7 years of life. My mom worked a regular job. Like, we had money. She was a manager, operations manager at a healthcare facility. So my thing was, he was the catalyst though, because he taught me profit, loss, revenue at 7. I think the big thing is mindset. When we go to the store as a kid and your parents like, nah, you can't buy that. You can't get that. Rich people, we don't like rich people. You don't need money. Money isn't everything.
Yeah.
I hear that so many times. I'm not one of those coaches that are like, oh yeah, money isn't everything. It's like, that's not real. Yeah. It's not realistic on some aspect, especially if you don't have any money. And I think that's the big catalyst. I see people when they're younger, their parents are telling them, because we're in a learning, we're a sponge. Their parents are saying, nah, we can't do this. Don't ever be rich. So when they're 18, 20, 21, they're like, no, mom said rich people are bad.
No, I'm good.
So I don't want to surround myself by any rich people. That's the number one thing I realize is when I'm coaching someone, I'm going against 23, 27 years of the stuff that we're told, like, no, you shouldn't do this, no, you shouldn't do that. Making money is actually a simple process. Keeping the money is a lot harder.
That's the learning curve. Hey, that's big. All right, he already done dropped 2 for you so far, so I'm just going to make sure we emphasize this. Be careful what you feed to your kids mentally. Because as he was saying it, I could think of people, you know, luckily I was around, my parents had, you know, the entrepreneur spirit, so they were kind of moving the way they were moving. But as he's saying it, I remember a lot of people while I was growing up saying that money's not everything. Money's the root of all evil. You know what I mean? Like, money's the root of all evil. Really? There's people out there doing some crazy stuff that ain't got money, ain't related to money. Exactly. You know, so you learn all that. So be careful how you program your kids, your next generation, or your circle, people around. Yep. Don't program them to have that money is bad mentality. Teach them how to utilize money, how to create wealth, and then most importantly, how to manage it, how to maintain it, how to grow it. You know, that's what we need to be spending energy on instead of just, you can't afford that. You know what I mean? When they see that nice car go by, don't be like, oh, that car costs more than our house. Okay, but does that mean I can never have it? No. Why don't you talk to me about what I need to do, what I can do in order to put myself in a position if I had that interest. So I love it, man. I love it. That's dope. So what are some things that you've learned in the last, couple years, that you maybe weren't familiar with or weren't aware of before that has really been a game changer for where you're at mentally?
I would say the number one thing is don't quit. Right? And I'm at the point, we come back from this conference, I've had appointments every single day this week. Yeah, I'm on Instagram every day. It's to the point where I said, I'm thinking about stuff. I really believe in manifestation. And, when I first got my property, I made $10,000 because I got a grant, right? However, I wound up sleeping on a blow-up mattress in my living room with my girlfriend. Everybody else had a room in the house. And I was like, I have to get this deal done. I'll make $50,000. I have to make it where this is a rental now. Yeah. So bank said no. And I said at one point, it's like, I have no other option. I always now to the point is, I just put all my eggs in 3 baskets, not 6 baskets. Yeah. And that way I just keep going. So I think the not quitting, because there is when money is one of those things that you have to attract it. So there's always a way to attract it. It's just keep going. Don't take no for an answer.
Yep, literally. That's the only way to fail is to quit.
Exactly.
Shout out to the CEOs, because we gonna reference it because we just got back. But look, it's either gotta work or it's gotta work. Exactly. That's it. Simple as that. So I love that don't quit mindset, that mentality. I think that's super valuable. So what are the areas that you're in right now? What would be your primary thing, your primary focus? And then I do want to touch on the other stuff, because I know you're pretty versatile. You diverse. You got opportunities in different areas. So I just want to touch on each one, man. So what would you say is your number one spot?
So my number one spot and more of my focus is I would consider myself an investor first. A, because I can create content. B, I'm learning different things to teach other people. So that biggest thing right now I'm focused on is doing deals in real estate where I'm leveraging the bank. Everything I do is to leverage the bank. The banks leverage us, so we should be leveraging them.
Yeah, facts.
And so right now I'm looking to get a 4-plex to basically, they call it house hacking. It's basically when you rent out basically both rooms in the house, and you usually can get a grant. If you have a first-time home buyers, that's what I'm looking for. I have a couple partners that are first-time home buyers. So I have the ability to start house hacking. Someone has to live in one unit, but we can house hack each room in a total of possibly 6 bedrooms.
Oh, wow.
In this whole, 4-plex unit. And I really want to give back. I want to specifically look for people that were foster youth, but they graduated out, and be able to give them, free mentorship. So matter of fact, hey, I'll give you some movie tickets if you watch this credit video. Yeah. So they can say, okay, let me go.
Yeah, connect the two.
Let me get you my credit up. So that's a big thing. Everything I'm looking at is an investor standpoint in real estate right now, and doing some Turo.
Love that. So before we go to Turo and the other stuff you got going, I want you to elaborate a little bit on a statement that I just heard you say, which is leveraging the bank.
Yeah.
I think people hear that term, but not necessarily understand it or know what it really means, or more importantly, even how to do it.
Right.
So when you say I'm leveraging the bank, they leverage us, because you said that. They leverage us, which we all know that.
Right.
What does it mean to leverage the bank, and how can someone apply that?
Okay, so leverage the banks. That's my new hashtag on Instagram, guys. So listen, when I got my first home, I got a grant for $10,000, right? So that put me in the deal with only having to pay about $1,500, and I was getting all these refund checks after everything closed. You typically checks, but I was in the game with $10,000 money. So now I'm with just qualifying. I had 2 years of income. I don't need $5,000. Most people are going to need $5,000, but I was able to see that grant, and it was a special grant in a specific area in Vegas, and I jumped on it ASAP. So I got to leverage them. I got to say, hey, I want your money, right? Because the banks, they leverage us because they say, hey guys, go get direct deposit, go pitch your money in your savings. We're going to give you some money. Why would anybody give you money? Why is banks valuable? What they're doing is our money is not all in one place. Our money's technically digital, right? And if you guys try taking $30,000 out the bank, they might have you call before you go.
You're going to find out that
you
got to fight a little bit to get your money out.
Exactly. They're trading our money on this, foreign exchange, and they're making money off of us. Our money that we deposit with them, they're lending it out and making more money to become profitable. So in real estate, we like to do grants. We like to do, lines of credit from the bank. Okay, I have a house. I can pull a line of credit. I pulled $50,000 out. Now I take that $50,000 and go buy real estate in cash. So the whole point is, in real estate specifically, is the best way to leverage it is to get bank loans. People want to I want to pay all cash for a house. And I'm like, why would you do that? There's no point in doing that. You could get the money, leverage the bank, and then double. You could do so many things, but it starts with understanding when you go look at a savings account that you're only getting 0.1% interest,
and that's a good bank.
That's a good bank.
No, I love that, man, and that's exactly it. I think financial literacy is something that should be stressed and taught more, but it's really not. We all know that our school system is failed and hasn't really produced what it's designed to produce. So we have to do it. So conversations like this, hopefully you start triggering that thought. So now you can start seeing things differently. You know what? That does make sense. Wait, I got all this money sitting in the bank and it's just sitting there. So it's not growing. You just heard them 0.1, maybe 0.0001. That's all you get in return on your money from the bank. But guess what they're doing with that money you got in that savings that you've been working so hard for? They're investing that. They flipping it. They're making money off of your money. While you just sit there and say, hey, when I get 65, I'm going to have this much. When I get 95, that's not the mindset. How can you multiply that money? What can you do with that money right now to multiply, to generate more? That has to be the mindset, and that's where that leverage really comes in, because you can do a lot with a little once you learn how to leverage. So what's some key things, credit score, things like that? How do I position myself to be able to leverage the bank or make those kind of moves on the real estate end?
So see, a lot of people you'll hear, they'll talk about, okay, I'm going to help you make money. Oh, I'm going to help you do this. Where's the gap between I'm going to help you do this, I'm going to help you make money, between I need to understand the very basics. I build the foundation of somebody, right? So it's like, if you can't manage $20, it's going to be easy for you to lose $20,000. I'm not going to tell somebody, hey, you should do this without understanding. You have to manage your money first. The very first thing everybody should know is how much money they're spending and how much money they're making, right? Because then you're going to know how much money you can invest in your credit. You definitely want to have a 700 score. You want to be in the 700 club, guys. It's actually not that hard to obtain. A lot of it, again, is managing money. Don't buy stuff on your credit cards that you need. My emergency money is set aside. I don't ever use my credit card for an emergency.
Yep, that's a setup.
It's a setup. Remember, they want us to stay in the cycle of debt. Boom, 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 boom. So what we want to do is keep our credit to a point where we're not using it. We're using it strategically. That means first you have to manage your cash flow. Make your expenses low. Make sure you have overhead. So money coming in more than money going out.
Facts.
That's one of the big steps. The second is 700 credit score. And that means you guys have to be spending don't spend a lot of your credit. If you have $1,000 on your credit card, you should only be spending 100 of it, really. That's good. I mean, 300 is the max, but if you're a beginner, 100, 10% of utilization. And then you get to start. That's what we're leveraging, the credit. You have to build your credit up to be able to take from it.
Yeah.
You can't say, I'm going to get $1,000 credit card. You go spend $1,000, your credit's going down.
Yeah, it's actually going to drop. Yep. And that's the utilization, right?
Yeah, utilization.
Yep. And so ideally, you for sure want to be under 30%, correct? But ideally, it's 10% or less.
10%, 5% if you really want to be up there and keep your, because after you go from 5, you can go from 5% to 35% on your credit card and be like, oh, my credit dropped.
Yep. So what's some strategy? I know for me personally, because I use the same principle. So I know for me, what I do a lot of times is if it's something that, that I know I have the cash for, boom, I'll use the card and then pay it off literally completely, but keep it under that percentage at all times. So is that just a form of strategy? What's the best strategy for someone that may have that 600, 650, and they trying to get to that 700 plus? What are some tactical things that they can do to make sure that credit score is constantly going up?
Okay, so if you have a 600 or plus, or 600 credit score, there's a couple things already I'm thinking what would be wrong. You have a collections, right? If you have a collections, you have to get the collection off, and that's when it comes to start disputing and basically just making sure, hey, this is even mine. Most people, 25% of the people have a discrepancy on their credit report. Collections, you guys pay your bills, payment history, those things are the biggest things that you guys need to do to just keep going. But if you're in the 600s, most likely you probably either only have one credit card or your utilization is high. So again, one of the biggest factors is utilization. You have to keep that under 30%, and I really caution people to even go under 10. And then second would be, in the 600s, around probably like 640, if you're in 640, 650, you're going to want to get a credit card. Now, some banks will let you. So what my trick is, I like to go get people pre-approved. You go to let's say Capital One. You go to CapitalOne.com/pre-approvals, and you put your information. It doesn't pull your credit, so you don't risk. It does a soft pull, but it doesn't risk pulling your points. And that's important because now you know you're pre-approved. So now you can get the credit card. You're in 600s. A lot of people are like, I'm going to pull my credit over and over and over and over. I'm going to get a credit card. I'm like, nah, they ain't giving you a credit card.
Making it worse.
Yeah, you're making it worse.
You look desperate as hell.
Exactly. Having all those hard pulls is not smart because then you have to call and get them off. So those are kind of the biggest reasons why. And if you only have one credit card and you're going to have to get another one, you could also go and get a secured card. And that's when you're going to give the bank $200 and then they're going to say, okay, we're going to give you $200 credit because they don't trust you as much, right? So you're giving them a deposit. Those are the biggest kind of credit cards people actually start off with.
That makes sense. I love it. So y'all see, man, this young man has a lot of a wealth of knowledge and information. And the good thing is he shared it. He giving you game right now. This is free game. You should be already taking notes. It's already some practical things that you could apply right now to help your credit score. So I want to move off the credit topic. And I heard you earlier, you mentioned Turo as one of your things. So like I said, this young man, he's killing it, doing it all, and growing and getting better and just developing. So talk to us about Turo. What made you, get into that? Those that may not be familiar, hopefully you are, because Turo is a big deal right now. It's the new, Airbnb kind of, Uber kind of right in that line of how to generate additional income by starting a Turo business.
Yes.
What does that look like?
So how I got introduced to Turo, somebody told me about the app, but when I went to California, I'm like, I don't want to pay enterprise prices, but I want a nicer car. So when I get to LAX, we're looking for this shuttle, and they're like, they picked us up, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, because I thought they was gonna bring the car. When we went they drove us to the parking garage, and this guy's like, they had a worker there, and he was telling us that the guy owned a business, so he invested in Turo, one car, and now he has like a whole parking garage. So we get 5 minutes away from the airport by Whole Foods, and they had the whole parking garage top floor. There's like 30 cars. They had their own mobile detailer. They paid rent at a Whole Foods in California. So he's probably paying like $5,000 just for that spot.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at things at my age, all the things I do big. At 18, I got my real estate license. So I'm like, if I'm going to do Turo, I have to be like this guy. That's my end goal. I need to have the shuttle. Most people don't have the shuttle.
Yeah, the shuttle's dope.
That's an extra that's an upsell.
Yeah.
So recently I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I had a Honda Accord Sport. I had enough equity in that car on a lease, guys, on a lease. I sold it and I got $5,000 cash back. So I was able to get 2 cars on one credit pool with 0 down. Right? So I want to say it again because people don't get it sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
you might have to run that back. Yeah, you got to run that back.
When you have a car lease, you have to give the car back. You're basically doing a long-term rental car, right, at a dealership. So I got a car and I'm like, man, my Honda Accords, Honda's hold value. I'm gonna have to pay $2,000. I had some nicks in the rims. There's a couple fees you have to pay back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I literally went online. I seen something out of nowhere. It was like something car lease sell, and I'm like, I went and like, okay, can I sell my car lease? Because I wanted to turn it in. I'm like, I'm gonna be over. I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
So I seen that. I'm like, okay. I went to CarMax, and there's a shortage of cars right now, right? Yeah. So they said, we'll give you $24,000. I said, okay, hold on. I went and looked at my payoff amount, the amount that I would have to pay on that car, my Honda, to buy it now and keep it outright.
Buy it out, yep.
It was $19,000. I said, okay, that means I had basically a week. So I'm at dealerships every single day trying to find the cheapest, nicest car I could get, right? So I found a BMW on a demo model, which means that they drove it for a couple thousand miles. Yeah. And I got that 0 down, and then I went and got a Kia 0 down. So now I have 2 cars, and I'm gonna let my mom drive one. Yeah. And then we taking her Lexus that she has, and we're gonna rent that one out.
Oh wow! Flip it, put the higher end Lexus on the tour.
So 0 down.
I tried to tell y'all earlier. I don't know if y'all was listening, but I tried to tell y'all.
We're doing stuff no one's doing, guys.
This dude right here, man, he got it. He got it. He sees it different. I love it. Keep going. Go ahead.
So now I got. If we think about what did I gain, I told someone this. I told my girlfriend. I said, listen, in a week I'm gonna get 3 cars in 1 car. And people hear stuff like that, and they're just like,
in a week you gonna get what?
I'm gonna get 3 cars out of 1 car, and they're like,
I'm gonna take this Honda and turn it into 3 cars.
And I'm like, okay, boom. So a lot of it's just seizing the moment. Now I'm getting information at the dealerships that they're not gonna have cars for a while, so that put pressure on me. So I'm like, okay, I got the $5,000. I negotiated the BMW 0 down. Yep. I negotiated the Kia 0 down, and they were similarly priced to what I was paying on the Honda lease. Like 30, 40 more bucks a month for the BMW. Yeah. But I got it 0 down. I got $5,000 cash to get my mom's car, that Lexus, and rent the Lexus out.
I know y'all caught half of that. Yeah. But you get the direction. You see that's the flip.
That's the flip.
That's the flip.
So now my goal is, and no one knows this, a couple people know this.
Everybody about to know now because you about to say it on this podcast. So go ahead.
My goal is to go from 1 car to 10 cars. Yeah. There's no in between. There's no point for me. There's many people doing Turo. Yeah. But when I say I'm a financial goal, I'm getting all the profit out of this, and I'm really leveraging the bank. So I'm gonna go from this 1 Lexus. Yeah. And I have some different ways to get it to 10 cars.
He obviously don't want to share those with us yet.
That's secret.
But that's probably coming in, later because I know he's mentor coach. We got it. But go ahead.
I have to be back when I have those 10 cars.
Oh yeah, we're gonna run it. That's gonna be the follow up. I love that.
So I like Turo because the biggest thing when you're leveraging stuff, if you bought all these cars and you're leasing them, you're still leasing it from BMW, which is the bank. They have the bank, and other people are paying for it. The thing people I need to understand is an asset is something that appreciates in value, but it also gives you money. Mm-hmm. If you live in a home, and this is going to break some people's hearts, and you don't do anything with it, you don't have a business in it, you don't rent it out, you can't do much with it with taxes, and it's a liability. Here's why. You're going to spend money on repairs. You're going to spend, yes, it may be cheaper, but you're going to spend money on mortgage and everything else. You're not making money. As soon as, and this is IRS at the taxes, right? As soon as I rent my house out, I now have my home into a business, which makes me get tax incentives. Guys, cars are always going to be, cars are liabilities, but now people are able to turn them into assets by having other people pay for them.
That's it. So don't get it twisted, especially right now when you see a lot of people moving a certain way with these cars. Don't get fooled. Because I know dudes out there that's pushing Lambos and all kind of crazy whips, but they smart. Those whips are paying them. They not paying for those whips. Those whips are paying them. They putting cars like that on Turo, renting them out, and then of course, when you want it for the weekend, jump in your Lambo and go do your thing. So just understand, man, it's a different way of thinking. It's not just work, work, work so I can get something nice. No, work, get something that's going to become an asset, something that's going to generate revenue for you, and then enjoy it. It all goes together, man. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so what keeps you motivated, man? What keeps you going? Because, I mean, like I said, you're 28, right?
23.
23? Damn, I added 5 years. 23. I thought he said he was 28.
23.
Damn. So that made me feel real old. Okay, so 23. You damn near be my son messing around up here. Yeah, for sure. All right, so 23. Why? Why do you feel like you're wired different? Why do you keep doing? Because you're doing enough to where you could be chill. You could be content. You could sit back and just tell the story. Like, I did this. I got 3 cars on Turo. I got this. You could do that.
I think the biggest drive is I grew up from a single mother, and I watched her work crazy hours. We had money, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, I was selling candy at the same time, and all my family's from LA, so there's a different lifestyle that I grew up in, and understanding money, right? Understanding money, life and death is different than understanding it in the corporate world. So it was always around, but I always look at stuff like, if they could do that, I could do that. I was thankful for what we had, because we had a lot of stuff. But I just noticed we spent a lot. Yeah. I know at a young age that my mom had a credit card, and she's like, I'm like, I want to buy candy. I say, no, I'm like, Mom, you have a credit card.
Yeah.
Now I know you got charged interest, but
you know all that. But you like, okay.
But I knew that it was available. So I think the biggest driver is the fact that I seen her work so much, and then at the end, it's like, well, we don't want operations manager anymore. You're fired. We're gonna take your position away. Yeah. She had no real stability, because imagine having nice stuff your whole life, and then instantly they take it away. Yeah, and no savings, no assets to build behind that.
Expenses crazy.
Expenses up.
Cars, house, all the stuff that we think is what we want and why we're working.
That's the middle class. The middle class is something we're seeing now. I know a lot of people that unfortunately leverage too much. They have debt. They pay for their own stuff.
No, that's it. And so that experience obviously has kind of formed you and molded you into who you are right now, which I think is super dope. So what are some things that, because I know you do some coaching, right? What are some things that you share, and you ain't got to give us all the game, but what are like kind of the topics that you start with, and how do you progress somebody that may be coming in looking for you as, or signed up for your coaching program, but they also don't have your mindset yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what they're trying to get to. Yeah. So what are some things that you do? How do you get them there?
So the biggest thing, the very first thing that shocks everybody is when we look at their credit, we just instantly get it up. There's a simple thing on Experian Boost. Like I say this on my Instagram, and people's credit go up. Now they have that dopamine. Like they're like, okay, this is good. Yeah, they feel excited now. So I give them, the first thing I give them is a win. The second thing, this is what I say is a punch in the stomach, because you have to be self-aware. Yeah. I'm very self-aware. Most people with their finances are like, I don't know this, I don't know that. Yeah. So I'm like, get your expenses and tell me how much you spend. It probably takes them usually a couple weeks, because they don't know what. How do I do that? Yeah. And this tracking, everything in life realistically is processes at the highest level. So at the very small level, we need to understand right now how much we're spending in a month, how much we're making. Yeah. And people, that's the biggest thing, because I wouldn't tell you to invest your money if you can't manage your money.
Facts. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, I know a lot of people might have just kind of let that just kind of fly by. I think it's valuable. It's one of the things I learned early, man. I really got lucky on it. I can't even tell you where it came from, but early, I'm talking about like 23, 21, 18, 19, I literally every single month knew where every single dollar that I earned, made, found, I knew exactly where it was at, when it came in, where it went, if it went out. I mean, literally, I'm talking about highlighter, bank statement at the end of the month, literally highlighting. Boom. Okay, I spent $600 in food. Oh, damn, that's a little higher than last month. Okay, detail it out. I'm telling you, and here's the big thing. Anybody that's successful will tell you, if you can't manage the money you have right now, you definitely won't be able to handle more money or more opportunity. So I don't care what you're making right now. I think that's a great starting point, which is understanding your numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. What's your numbers? Because that's going to help you dictate your moves, your strategy, how much, what you need, how you need to move. But you have to know them. If you don't know them, you're just guessing, which means you're going to lose.
Most people are spending more than, I'll say, no, there's a statistic. There's something that says the average American can't come up with $500.
That's crazy.
I get mad. Like, I yell at my clients. I yell because, listen, if you can't come up with $500, there's no way you're telling me that people can't formulate that. We just don't know that we're spending $2,000, but we're making $1,500. Yeah. Well, how's that possible? Because you're using your credit cards. Because you don't have no emergency money. So when your tire pops, I've watched people have to decide, do I buy food or do I buy a tire? But if I don't buy a tire, I ain't going to work. I won't have no food.
Now you're stuck.
Exactly. And that's not a way for people to live, So this another thing is I make everybody start an emergency fund. You have an emergency fund. I don't care if you're investing or anything. Yeah. People want to argue, but listen, if you have the emergency fund, like $2,000 minimum, especially if you're single, $2,000. But anybody else, you have kids, like you want money in the bank when there's a rainy day. Then all the rest of my money, you need to start investing your savings into assets.
Don't sit on it.
You can't save yourself to be rich. You can't. Most people will make $1 million in their lifetime. Most people will not see $1 million. Yep. They just won't. So you have to start making your money move into Turo, into Airbnbs, into people who have collectibles like cars, baseball cards, and stocks, right? That's my thing. So everything I'm doing is to teach them, okay, money management. Yeah. Now we're not going, we're going to start the emergency fund. That's the savings. That's, I guess, like the insurance emergency fund, right? Yeah. And then your savings, though, you have to turn these into assets. If you're not doing that, you're not going to build wealth if you don't have assets.
Straight up. That's it. That's the key. That's the recipe, man. So I really hope y'all absorbing this because it's real information that you can apply. This is what it's about. So what I want to ask, because you 23 and connected, you connected to how things are moving, connected to kind of the flow of business, the flow of money, the currency of money. You got that. What else is out there? What else are you seeing out there that's creating this big opportunity? That maybe you've already touched or maybe you just kind of got it on your radar. Is there anything else that's coming up? 'Cause I know you just mentioned like Airbnb. I know there's people that are doing some stuff with that right now.
Airbnb is good. I don't even think Airbnb. See, a lot of people will say that there's supply and demand, right? So, how much stuff do I have? What's the demand for it, right? People will say, well, there's too many of us. It's called oversaturation. So they'll say that with Airbnb, but there's not. You just have everything I do. A lot of the stuff I do is I get information from other people, right, and online, and then I say, how am I going to do this better? Like the whole Honda thing, the $5,000, that was just a win. Yeah. But I switched and said I need 2 cars now because I need to make some money, more money. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. So Airbnb is a good thing. If you guys are on social media, having a business, right? You're a business owner. That's an asset, right? Especially if it's running without you. That's the true asset. So if you guys are on social media already and you have followers, that's when you guys can start monetizing. That's not going to go away. I really think cryptocurrency in the long term, not what everybody's doing like buying and selling quick. In the long term, blockchain technology, the actual transferring files is just faster and more secure. That's gonna, in my opinion, is gonna be adopted first. In sectors like real estate. I want to transfer files to you. I don't want to hire a bunch of legal people.
Middle people to
It's secure. I'm just gonna transfer you the files and that's it. So I would definitely be on the lookout for cryptocurrencies that cryptocurrencies that are backed by like moving files, like Filecoin. That's something I'm invested in.
Love it. No, that's dope. No, I love that. I love it. So, looking back, we just met recently. We met at the CEO conference, the Formula Conference in Atlanta. Yeah. What are some of the takeaways from that event? Because I really walked away with a lot of information, a lot of, things that I could apply right now. Actual, not just hype. It wasn't just motivation.
Yeah.
It wasn't just music and everybody jumping around. We did have to stand up like 600 times.
Yeah.
About 650 times we had to stand up. But it was a lot of information, like tangible things. I mean, my notes are full. So I'm curious to see, because you know how it is. We both at the same event. We absorbing the same information. But I'm always curious as to what other people get out of the same information that I heard in comparison. So what are some takeaways from that event?
So the biggest thing I learned is like, one of them said, it's not how you do anything is how you do everything. And I looked at myself and I said, okay, let's look, because I had to teach all the boring stuff that they say to get rich, consistency, discipline, that y'all don't want to hear. I'm 23 years old and I'm telling you guys, I had to teach myself this. You have to.
It's real.
So I looked at that and I said, okay, where am I lacking? So I have someone that personally trains me. And I said, okay, when we got back, I'm like, boom, I have to put 110% in at working out, because that's what right there helps me do other things, that mindset. So now I'm like, I can't shortcut this. If I shortcut this, then I shortcut everything. And it's true. If you just look in your life and say, how am I as a person? And then you look at, how do I do this one thing? It's typically how you do everything.
It's consistent. Yeah,
that's one of the biggest things.
I love that one, and that is real, man. And it's a couple key things that you touched on that I don't want to let them just fly by too fast. So how you do anything is how you do everything. That's your relationships. That's how you communicate with your family. That's your circle of people, your influence, the people you're around. All of that plays into that. All of it plays a role in how you do it. And at the end of the day, you need to have that understanding. And then those key words that he mentioned, the discipline, the dedication, all that. These are real things. These are tried and true. Like, there's no question. You are not going to ever maximize your opportunities. You're not going to maximize your potential if you don't create discipline, if you don't have structure, if you don't have a real grip on your finances, your expenses. You have to have that if you want to get to the next level. So I just didn't want everybody to just kind of let that brush. And then the last one that he touched on, because this is something that I've been doing for years, and I'm glad to hear him say it, is this. Working out was a thing, right? That was a thing that he's like, I need work in this area. I need to be able to train. I need to be committed 100% to my body, my health. Because at the end of the day, when you're able to fight a battle like that and stay consistent, it makes everything else easier. Like, people always ask, like, why I train so hard. If you follow me on IG, you know I'm training every day, doing all kind of crazy stuff. But I do it because I want to push myself to that limit. I want to put myself through that pain. So that way, when I enter the real world, I'm ready. There's nothing you can tell me. I'm already trained for war. How are you going to affect me, mentally and physically? So I just didn't want people to miss those key golden nuggets that you just dropped.
That's the biggest.
There's no way I was gonna let them just. All right, cool. Let's see what it says next.
Because like when I came back, and I'm always looking. I'm an analytical person, so I'm looking at, okay, where did I mess up? I read contracts and stuff, so I have to overanalyze sometimes, and I'm like, no, I need to do this. Because sometimes if I'm in money mode, I may not be in creation mode. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do the videos. Now it's like, no. That is something else. It doesn't matter because I may not like it as much as making money, or it comes harder. I need to constantly keep pushing myself in all areas. And, like you said, I was thinking about this after I went to the conference, and I'm helping one of the kids that were sitting next to me get a credit card while we were there. I am one of those coaches that at this point now it's like, I'm helping people unlearn all the stuff that we're actually taught, which isn't real stuff. It's a system that's made to keep people in certain areas. And now it's like, to me, growing up, finances was something like life and death. So when I talk to somebody, I give them game, it's like, I'm saving your financial life, because you have to have money in this world,
period,
to be alive, or you're not going to have no food. Right? So to me, I look at the financial aspect as like, we're at war. Some people are like, no, I don't want to talk about finance. I'm sitting at the conference. This guy don't know me from anybody in the world. He pulled his credit right up. I need to know your credit. I need to know all your business so I can help you. And I think being transparency with your finances, with your spouse, that's a big thing if you have a spouse, or your kids. Your kids should hear you talking about finances. They shouldn't hear you guys be like, oh no, we're not going to talk about finances.
Or we can't afford this.
Yeah, we can't afford this.
Explain why. What's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah,
or
good.
why, like, that's the big thing. Because everything is at the youngest level. If we were all taught at the youngest level till 7 years old, if I had a kid, right, and I'm teaching them and they just see me, I'm not even specifically teaching them. They see me doing entrepreneur stuff, the chances of them being more successful is higher.
Yeah, for sure.
Without me even telling them something.
For sure. Love it. So I want to switch gears a little bit because you just touched on the next subject that I actually want to discuss, which is social media.
Okay.
You know, in the sense of branding and generating revenue and just because obviously at 23, so it's natural for people to say, oh, he's 23. Social media, that's what he does. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of it.
Yeah.
But what are the benefits? Because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are going to come across this. There's some athletes that are going to come across this because I like to educate my athletes and entrepreneurs with the same information because it really is the same stuff. You know, so when it comes to building a brand, putting yourself in a position, creating what we like to use the word omnipresence to where people know you. And the more they know you, the more they can flow you, the more they can bring business, the more networking, the more opportunity. So how has social media helped you, and what is that tool? What does that tool mean for you?
So I think social media has helped me understand I would call them the laws of the universe. And some people understand, some people don't. One of the laws of the universe is what we give is what we give back. But we learned this when we were younger, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. So the more value I give, the more value I give back, right? Yeah. Because I was always the smartest guy around me. I was the one talking. I was the one saying, guys, let's do this. Tell my family, let's do this. Everything I do, I involve my family. So it's like, oh, D's going to do that? We're going to get paid. That's it. They just wait now.
Yeah, they in.
They believe now.
What you need.
Yeah. So, but it's the biggest thing is I give people value on flipping exotic sodas. If anybody, no one knows what that is, but all these little things, and it helped me get customers, believe it or not. People are like, oh, you know what? You sell exotic sodas? I want to buy from you. I don't even have a store to buy those in my area. Okay, cool. I'll send you some. But it let me be more comfortable receiving value from people. I get value. I drop 3 videos a day across platforms, and now I'm attracting more value to me.
That's big.
So the big thing is, what do I want? If I want value, I got to give it. What do I want? I want money. I got to give it. I got to pay somebody to teach me something.
Hold on. I hope y'all listening. Okay, go ahead.
Right? And then another thing, like that's how you do it. People think like, and when they have money, they're like, oh, you know what? I don't want to give it. Give your last dollar. I guarantee you will come back, especially because you're doing it being as a good person. So I use social media. Like, honestly, it was just like that. But I realized that I finally found people like me. Because when I'm using hashtags and somebody shares my stuff, they're like, wait, he did that? How did you do that? I want to know how to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing to me is I developed relationships. There's somebody that I talk to. He lives in North Carolina. I talk to him almost every single day, or South Carolina, every single day. And he's talking about building brands, and we talk about investing. We help each other. We get free information. You guys, there's nothing more powerful than this, this phone and this social media.
100%.
That's where the world's going. We're still early. Like 10 years from now, if you're a business, you have to have a social media because the organic reach, right? So if we talking right now, someone sees this, they share it, and then they share it, and then it's organic because now if you look about everybody's on their phone, but what are we doing? I get videos, people send me funny videos, people send me educational videos, and because I like you or I know you, I'm like, oh, cool.
I'm checking it out. Yep.
You can't.
100%.
It's that best marketing tool, and it's one of the most. I think it's still very underutilized.
Yeah.
There's some people, some businesses that don't think that they can fit in the realm. Right? I'm teaching finances, but when I get on there, you may just see me flipping sodas. They're like, "What is this guy doing?"
What I thought he was doing.
And but I'm still teaching the supply and the demand. It's like people. There's no industry that you cannot use social media. There's dentists, real estate. Even if you're a lawyer, they be making crazy videos now on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they go in. They're going in, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of business owners out there that may have, kind of like myself, where we started our business, more what would be considered traditional business, old school marketing and magazines and billboards and all the stuff that is irrelevant today, but was valuable then. I think they struggle to kind of cross over into the social media world, or they look at it as, oh, that's for my kids, or that's for this, but not understanding that that's the way of the world.
That's where it's at.
It just is what it is.
Did it happen? No.
Either you're going to adjust or you're going to die. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do it.
Yeah.
So what would be like a good entry point, like for like a business owner, entrepreneur, that may have just started their business and they know they need a presence, but they're just not comfortable on social every day, or maybe they still working that full-time job, so they don't really have the time necessarily. What are some 2 or 3 things they can do just to initiate, just to kind of get it started?
Okay, so let's there's like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're just gonna stick with those. Okay, so really, like, if you're a business owner and you're a little bit more conservative, LinkedIn is one of the best places to start.
Yeah.
And get just reading, commenting a couple times throughout the day, letting people know you're there, because all of these social medias have an algorithm where they're just basically, it's a point system. They want to make sure that you're engaged, and if you're engaged, other people are engaged, which keeps them on their phone. They're making money, so we have to bring the presence. So we have to not only talk to other people, comment and conversate, but we have to get people to conversate and talk to us.
Yeah.
So that's the easiest step. Just get on, start commenting, and there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either give entertainment or you have to give education, right? And they could come in many forms of entertainment. You can be a model, education. You can do even funny educational videos. But you guys have to start.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. People are not starting, they're judging it. They're saying, what's the ROI, return on investment for social media? I'm like, infinity, because you don't know what it could bring you.
Exactly.
So you have to get on social media, start. Facebook is easy. Most people are on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
But TikTok, you guys are underutilizing. Like, people think, oh, TikTok's for the younger crowd. No, it's for all of us. Yeah. They have a good algorithm. Yeah. Everybody's on TikTok.
Yep.
Just follow the people.
Yep. He's right. I just started mine, so follow me on TikTok. Shout out to everybody that's on TikTok. I just started, man, and I'm gonna tell you, it's probably the one that I'm the most reluctant with, because it does feel like it's the younger one. Mm-hmm. It does, everybody that you see on there is dancing or doing the new dance, and that ain't really necessarily me. I have a little fun, but I'm not about to be doing all the dances.
I don't do that
5 times a week.
I'll buy stuff.
So what I'm doing right now, which I think is smart for a lot of business owners that see TikTok but don't really see it for them, just figure out what your comfort zone is, and then just be consistent in posting how you're comfortable posting. Yeah. So now I'll post like a couple workout videos, but since it's TikTok, I'll have fun. I'll speed them up and throw some cool music on it. Throw a couple titles on there. It's still me. It's still working out. It's the same video probably that I posted on YouTube or something. But just when you speed it up and add a little graphic and add some cool music, now it becomes more of a TikTok type of video. Yeah. So you can keep it simple. So don't just run from it. Don't be in denial. Mm-hmm. And especially don't close your eyes and act like it doesn't exist, because I'm telling you, the world is moving through social. The CEO conference, that was all built on social media.
That was crazy.
They put over 2,000 people in a room through social media, basically.
And watch us go crazy, reposting, which they're reposting.
Literally.
Making more followers, pushing the algorithm. Guys, you guys have to, when you start, the process really is like, okay, the algorithm, right? This algorithm. TikTok is good. Anything like that. Who cares what? I don't make content for everybody to watch and go, oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that. Back in the day, I only posted pictures. But when I came in the game, I said, I'm not going to do one thing, and I'm just not going to lie to people. I'm going to make content I like. Mm-hmm. The market is going to attract the people, right? You may not. It took me, on TikTok, it was a little bit easier because I did a quick video. I sold a video, and the videos that you don't think are going to do something give you 5,000 followers. So I'm at 8,000 followers on TikTok basically because of 2 videos that was 6 seconds, and that was on my phone for 5 months.
Yeah, that you wasn't even thinking. You was just like, just throw them up there.
Post it with some music, and they said, how are you doing that, right? So since I'm in the educational area, there's going to be less people that want to watch educational videos. That's fine. 8,000's cool, and I think that's one of the bigger things. People are like, I don't know if I'm going to come off right. It's too serious. I make if I make 100 videos in a day. Yeah. In a day, because I make one cut, my hair's not, it doesn't matter, because I'm just giving the value, and then I'm back to making money.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And don't judge it.
Yeah,
just do it. Throw it out there and let it be. Throw it out there, let it be. So no, I love it, man. I love it. So let me ask you this: where you're 23, almost said 28 again. I'm trying to make him old.
Don't do that.
I'm trying to add these 5 years.
People usually think I'm like 18. So
yeah, I did because over the weekend I was like, "What are you about 19?" So now at 23, fast forward 30 years old.
Okay.
What does your life look like?
Okay, so since I'm the youngest out of all my siblings, I one of my goals is at 30 to be the most making the most money out of all of us. Okay, so higher earner. I definitely want to have at least 30 apartment actual units. So 30 of those. And at this point, you know, I do a lot of personal mentorship, so I'll definitely be charging a higher price. But I really want to be working with entrepreneurs that are like, okay, I have my business, but I want to take it to the next level, you know, and that's where I want to be. I like meetings. I like having this. I will do for the rest of my life because I could do it. I've been doing it since I was 15. So that's going to be another thing. And I don't have any goals. Like people are like, I want to retire at 30. I'm like, I don't want to. I love this. This is my hobby. Yeah. Right? This is my actual hobby. People go to work and are entrepreneurs, but this is my hobby. I do it every day. So that's one of the bigger things. And at that point, I definitely will be wanting to start the process of getting a foundation, which is a nonprofit organization. And the reason why I want a foundation specifically is because that's designed to live forever. Past me. And the reason why is I have to have a board of directors. If I have a board of directors, that means nobody can take all the money out of my business. You have a business and you have family with it, somebody can take the money out if you're not no longer around. So my big goal is to have something like that. So my movement,
that's the legacy,
is going past it. And new board of directors. Boom, boom.
Love it.
So that's what I think it would. That's gonna happen. That's the plan. I'll probably I have to have at least probably like 30 Turo cars.
I love it. I love it. No, that is dope, man. I think that's perfect. Yeah. So where I want to go now, you know, I just need you for a couple more minutes. I just got a couple little things I want to touch on. So looking forward, like you just mentioned, I love the legacy concept is what I call it. It's like, how do you leave a legacy? And that's where that nonprofit or that foundation comes in. I really feel like you are very passionate about the coaching and mentoring and that side of it. Yeah. So I know you're going to do very well in that. What area do you feel like, okay, I'm here right now, in order to get to here, which is 30, what are some things that you feel like you need to improve on or adjust or focus on in order to make sure you hit those targets that we just talked about?
I decided when I got back that some people that are around me are not going to the next level with me. Let me tell you guys this right now.
Hold on. Say that again.
Some people that are around me, they're not going to the next level. I already know who it is, and they can't. And it's all right, right? It's all right.
They're probably not watching this. Are they?
Yeah, they're not watching.
They're not gonna watch.
They're not the type that's gonna watch it. So
we can say it. We good.
We good. So that's the biggest thing people do. We hold on to people. We're here, but I know that I'm here on this earth, in my opinion, to help people understand that finances at some level is some sort of war. We are in a financial war, and that you need to be right, because this can set you up. One person, a millionaire or a billionaire, can set somebody up for 5-10 generations.
Literally.
And if you want to be the one, you can't come in like, oh yeah, I want to be rich. Nah, you don't want to be rich. You don't really want to put that work in. So that's number one, because I held on to people too long. And I think another thing would be, and this is what I'm learning now, even when it's painful, like, you know, my trainer says, you know, you got to push through the burn, because now you're ripping through your muscle. Now you got to really push. That matters more than the first 2-3 reps. So now I learned how to get my mind there. Yeah. So in business, you know, I had a problem today where it's like, okay, well, this deal might not close. The deal was supposed to close. The paperwork signed. What are you talking about? Yeah. So instead of getting upset and doing this, I just said, okay, you know what? Let me just go through the process, not assume, not be negative, and let's just see. I called him up and said, look, are you in the business of making money, yes or no? And he said, I am. I said, well, here's what I think we could do, and what do you think? And he said, okay, let me try those. I'm giving them the advice. You just got to run the play.
Yeah, straight up.
So I think those two. And then the third thing is, not set my vision too low.
Ooh, that was a bar. Bag drop. What my boy say, EYS. EYL. Bag drop. No, hey, that was dope right there. Run that back.
So the reason why, like, we don't want to set our goals too low. And the reason why is, say if I, like, specifically last year, I wanted to hit 6 figures. Okay. Last year was my first 6-figure year. And I'm like, I want to hit 6 figures. I wrote the number down. I told my brother, I'm going to make this amount of money. I'm telling everybody, I'm putting it in the universe. But I don't just put it in the universe and go watch TV. I start to work. I made that amount. So realistically, this year I said, it has to be 5 times the amount. But I didn't give up. It didn't happen until the end of November. I only made like maybe 50. And I'm like, okay, I need 60, 75. So I got it in the end of November and it closed in December. If I would have gave up, I wouldn't have truly did the compound effect. You guys have to keep pushing and keep pushing. Love it. Those are the biggest things that I think I'm going to double down on.
Yeah. No, I think those are great. Those are 3. And that last one is awesome because I think naturally sometimes we will set the bar too low. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's we don't want to fail or maybe we just simply not thinking big enough. You know what I mean? For a lot of us, and it sounds like you as well, we the first ones that's really going after it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that people before us didn't go after it, but we are the first ones, let me say that, with the mindset and in the position and placed in the right moment with this social media.
Yeah, seizing the moment.
You see what I'm saying?
Seizing the moment.
So even if you had, the generation before you that had the same spirit that we have, did they have the same opportunity? Probably not. Probably not.
Easiest time.
So I love the fact that you've pinpointed a couple things that you want to improve on and change and continue to develop so you can reach your full potential. I love that. I love it. All right, so as we kind of start to land the plane, I need a couple things. What are some takeaways that you would want to leave one of your students, someone that's in your coaching program, someone that you're mentoring? If this was the call, you're mentoring them, what's the 2 or 3 things that you want to leave them with to set them up for success? If you knew this was my last opportunity, I'm going to drop some dimes, and then they got to go do their thing.
That this whole financial thing that I'm talking about is just a will. You get money. I don't care how y'all get it. Whatever income, that's you, right? Get the money. You put it in your savings account and you buy assets. Again, stocks, bonds, gold, physical silver, homes that you rent out, cars that you rent out, guys. That is the blueprint to actual wealth. Now, how you get there will be different for everybody. What assets you buy, maybe even collectibles, you have to understand the only way you'll really truly be wealthy is if you get assets. So make your income start now, right? And then the second thing would be the laws of money, right? A lot of people walk around and they're like, I don't need money. I have somebody that says that all day. And I laugh. I said, you know what? I watched you lose 3 deals in 1 year because you said you don't need money every single day. You need money. Yeah. You don't, it may not make you happy, but you need money if you want something.
You can't be in denial.
Right?
Can't be in denial.
The spade's a spade.
Yeah, we need money.
So that law of money is the biggest thing.
That's a good one.
And that would go to another part of you got to give money to people too. And I won't say just blindly giving, but causes, right? People want to do business with their friends and not pay them. Guys, pay people. Yeah. Because the money, I guarantee you, I know it's a crazy thing people think, but it will come back, and it usually comes back and more. Yeah. And the third thing, guys, spending plan. I changed it because savings sounds boring. I don't even like saying saving
plan. You're like, so basically I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just putting the money over there.
Yeah, it's not fun, right? We want to spend money. I love spending money. I spend money probably every day, but I love spending money on a $2 soda that I can sell for $10. So now I know if I buy 20 sodas, boom,
I'm good.
I 10 times or 5 times my profit. Guys, get in the habit of understanding your spending plan. What you make, what you spend in the first, in the months, that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Because that gap between those, that's when you can start getting money to invest in assets.
What else you want us to say? This young man has dropped so much knowledge and information on this particular episode. There's no way you shouldn't have to rewatch this. Grab your notebook out, write it down. We done covered it all. We done went from financial literacy in the beginning to leveraging the bank to Toro to real estate deals to, we just covered it all. And so I just want to encourage you guys to follow this man, watch this journey. He's got 7 years till this 30. I want you to follow the journey. So what's the best way, what's the easiest way for people to follow you?
So you guys can follow me on Instagram, which is at Elevate Now Brands, and that's brands with the S at the end. And also on TikTok at Elevate Now _. Guys, I'm dropping gems all the time, and hashtag leverage the banks.
Hashtag leverage the bank. Hey, make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all tap in. So I want to say thank you for spending some time and hanging out, man. I know we're going to stay connected, and we're going to do some business together.
Definitely.
That's one that we didn't touch on, man. Partnerships.
Yeah.
Find people that's like-minded, that's on the same mission as you, and partner with them. Figure out ways so everybody can win. That's how you do it. Multiply, duplicate, keep going, keep going. So we're going to do it, man. So I want to say thank y'all for watching the Embrace the Process Athlete and Entrepreneur podcast. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe now. And once you subscribe, I need you to share this with at least 3 people. Share it with 3 people that you know need to hear it. 3 that you know are going to listen, absorb it, take the information, and run with it. That's who I want you to share it with. Outside of that, we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you. Thanks, fam. Appreciate it, man. That was dope. That was a lot of good info.